everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Challenge, the podcast all about the challenge. As usual, I am Brian, sitting over, rewatching his TV in his own monitor. Is
Big Uncle Sweetie.
Sitting in her bedroom, ready for the after show, the After Dark after show.
Ooh, in bed, no less. Carl in San Diego.
And sitting in work. I don't know. You had a bunch of cicadas earlier. That's the only clever thing I got for you.
Yeah, the future star of Generation 5, Zachy Bananas.
You mean
Hey,
Era
everybody.
5?
Era 5, same thing.
Head over to challengepod.com, join the Facebook group. You can also join our Patreon. And I don't know, get some shit. I don't know who took notes for this episode.
Man,
Tim
I did. Yes, I did. But we all have to compensate for Wolfie tonight. Wolfie doesn't like the episode, so we all have to like it extra.
Yeah.
Sure.
Heard.
Sure.
Generally
Of
speaking,
people sit around talking. It's great.
It is great. Wolfie, I gotta say though,
we only had an entire episode of that last week already.
your reaction is the only one that I've seen out of all of Channel's fandom that is like not super stoked about this episode in this season. Wolfie, how do you justify your position
What
here?
was the point of having a episode 0 where people sit and talk about how long they've been on the show? And then the first episode is people sitting around talking about how long they've been on the show.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Usually this is the bullshit we complain about, and all three of you are like, oh my God, best episode ever.
But I
Loved it.
Okay, I
Loved
will give it to you. Most of the time this is the stuff that we complain about, but this is the first season in a really long time that has had a ton of players that we all love.
I guess.
And-
And that we haven't seen in a very long
That-
time.
That is the thing that changes it. Because I thought that exact same. Like, if this were any other season, we would have been complaining out the wazoo. But this
Yeah.
is the first time we've seen some of these players in 10 plus years. It's really exciting to see everybody. So
It literally took me 10 minutes to watch this episode because I watched part of the challenge and I'm like, this is boring as fuck. Fast forwarded through it. And I was like, I'll just get to the part where they go in and they talk to the person about why they should stay. And I fast forwarded through an hour and 15 minutes of this goddamn show before that even hit. And I'm like, but it'll be okay because I'm going to watch the elimination. And it'll be great. There's no fucking elimination in this episode.
yeah, but spoiler alert, next episode there should be 8.
Yep. And so, Wolfie, if you fast forwarded through an hour and 15 minutes of challenges, apparently they weren't just sitting there talking. They were doing challenges for most of the episode.
One of the most boring challenges I've ever seen. Put this puzzle of 40 together and then row your boat out to a buoy, and that's it.
Yeah, but we had fun things in it. I mean, I guess we should probably go
Ugh.
through the episode. Let Tim go through the
Yeah.
episode because
My life.
Why? I just did.
my
That's all
life-
that's in this episode.
Do you know how much better my life has been today now that I have CT Pro Tips to direct?
right.
That may be the only redeeming factor of this season.
God, I loved that.
I wonder
hope
if
it-
Wolfie.
I hope it continues the entire season and this wasn't a one-off episode joke.
Me too.
Oh,
Same.
pro tips, the CT pro tips.
Yes, CT's
Yes.
pro tips.
So I have a theory though, Wolfie, because you are, I don't want to say a latecomer to the challenge, but you weren't as into the challenge early on as like,
No.
say, me and Zach and Carlin.
And I'm
Yeah.
still not. I only watched it because my ex-wife watched it. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, hey, my friend Tim, who really likes it, wants to do a podcast about it. Maybe me and you should do it. And now my ex-wife is gone. And I'm still watching this goddamn show for no unknown reason.
It's a great show. It's a great show.
Well, because you
And-
love us.
Well, and this episode was everything that I've loved about the show, like being a fan that has been into it for 25 years, like flashbacks to all of the highlights of 25 years, all the memories that came flooding back, all these little cutscenes of players we've forgotten along the way. It was everything that I needed after Battle of the New Champion or whatever the fuck last season was.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Sorry, Wolfie, you're outnumbered.
I don't care. I've learned that Riverside, you can like program it to recreate the sound of your voice. So I'm just gonna type in a bunch of shit and I'm gonna leave and it's gonna be the stand-in.
Oh, good.
Season.
But make it positive. Make it like you really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
We don't need a virtual bummer, Wolfie. We need an uplifting Wolfie. All right. Well, this episode opens. It's called the Era Invitational Part 1, by the way, guys. And it opens with flashbacks that we just talked about. And TJ mentions that over 25 years, they have had over 400 players play this game and 94 unique champions. I would not have guessed these high numbers. What about you guys?
I have a little bit of a bone to pick with the unique winners, because of those 94, there are multiple time winners, so they are not actually unique.
That's okay. So that is not unique winners. That counts multiple winners,
unless they're counting each individual person on the giant teams that won.
Oh, that's what
way
they would
back
have
in
had
the
to
day.
do to get 94.
Oh, yeah, that's what they
maybe maybe it hits 94, but I feel like 94 seems really high for the number of challenges we've had and the number of times people like Johnny and CT and Kara and Wes and
Jordan it surely counts the big teams. Yeah, it surely counts the big teams. I don't think there's any question.
I mean, I guess that's
that
so yeah. If you counted every single person on the big teams, then maybe they do actually hit 94. But
yeah, because I want to say, was it like the first 10 seasons or so? I feel like most of those were the big teams. So if you had
true.
6 people, if you had 6 to 8 winners every season, you know, you could get like 4 or 5 new people per season for the first 10.
Yeah, so then you've got 50 right there. That makes sense. All right, so then maybe 94 actually does make sense. Yeah. I heard that and had in my head the last like 15, 20 seasons where it's been, 1 or 2 winners, not 15.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, because it hasn't been something crazy like 10 seasons since like CT, Bananas, or Jordan didn't win a challenge.
Yeah, something like that. Like of the men who have won, they have won the last 10
like
or 15.
8 to 10 or so, yeah.
Well, they all jump out of a big trailer. I don't know why they do this. Sometimes the challenge does these things, and it's like, I didn't need this. I don't need the trailer thing.
Purely for our benefit. But they did jump out to some good music.
I ended up paying attention to that. What was the song?
It was a Linkin Park song. I can't remember what it was right now, but I enjoyed it.
Super unexpected to me. I don't know how you guys feel about this. CT crying? What is this?
Yeah, getting all teary-eyed, looking.
I did not expect this.
Teddy bear?
I did not expect this. Yeah, what's up with CT? Why is he getting all emotional?
Maybe he thinks it's the final season, we all did.
He did say that. Maybe it's his final season.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, he says it's a home to me. The challenge has always been there for me. He talks about some rough times. I wonder if he's going through the divorce and he's thinking about DM. It's like,
Yeah, and
still,
I mean, like, is that
unexpected.
Stove who's putting all of this in there? Yeah, like Stove says in the chat room, he spent his 20s and 30s on the show. You can see why he got emotional. I mean, yeah, because he spent his 20s and 30s. Johnny spent his 20s and 30s. Kara has spent her 20s and 30s. It's been a lot. Like there are quite a few people who have spent their really formative adult years living on this show.
Yeah.
So
the second era women, I just want to concentrate on them for a second because Kara talks about the second era women. They are the most badass crew.
Stacked.
Yeah. The worst of the women on Generation 2 is Kellyanne. And Kara gives her some props too. Says she's a baddie, which I learned from my daughter. Baddie is a good thing. Yeah, I don't know who else is who else is up to with that terminology.
All of us.
Yeah, not me. And maybe I talked about this last episode, but do you guys notice Jordan looks like rugged this season more than usual? He looks bulkier and he looks like fucking weathered and rough. Yeah,
over the last few years, he has kind of, I don't want to say he's filled out like the guys, 20 seasons ago when everybody was on roids, but like he has definitely like he's bulked up.
Yeah.
He's filled out quite a bit. Like
he was never
lean and lithe, like runner style physique. He's much bigger.
Yep. Yeah, he never fit the mold of like the roid guy. He would beat people, and he never looked ripped or anything.
To imply that he did.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. But now he's looking bigger. I don't know if it's something he's focusing on or it's just age, but
speaking of looking bigger, was I the only one that also thought CT looked more dad bod than ever before?
Oh yeah,
He looks
CT's looking
chunky,
super dad bod
chunky.
right now.
Yeah, big boy.
He's looking real dad bod right now. But like, if you, he posted a video on Instagram the other day where he's still got a little bit of the dad bod look to his face, but you can tell that he's leaned out quite a bit. So I'm wondering if during the show he leaned out, or if that happened
Maybe.
afterwards. But even dad bod CT, he still kicked some serious ass when he came back from Invasion of the Champions.
He
Yeah.
won that one. Yeah, he won that
Yeah,
season.
Yeah. And I had to hear it from Mama Zaki Bananas this morning when she saw Dad bod CT take the shirt off, so she was a fan.
yeah, I will always love him.
Well, Amanda is the first of several contestants saying they're playing this season for their kids. I love it. $1 million prize pit.
Ooh.
Right? What the hell? Cheapskates? $1 million?
Right. I did think for season 40
It's
they
not
were
what I
going
was
to do like
booing.
a bigger amount.
He was booing the kids.
They should have it a bigger amount, Zach. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
kind of
million-
surprised.
They
I'm a
broke
little
$1 million
surprised
for
they didn't do
Dirty
bigger.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a big thing 10 seasons ago. So it's like, yeah, they could have done. Let's bump it up a little bit, guys.
Yeah, well, and it also makes me wonder if it's only $1 million. I mean, if it's only $1 million, are they actually doing this in teams? Because if it's $1 million and they're doing this in teams, then what? I mean, if you have 4 people, everybody's only getting 250, and that's if second and third place don't get anything.
Yeah. Well, and I also hope that they do make it era against era, not internal era fighting, because
I know. I'm really
I'm not
hoping this
interested in that.
internal era thing is only this first like purge.
yeah, and we'll get into the politics of that. But yeah, it's going to be a super boring episode if it's all internal like that, you know.
It's going to be a super boring season if it's all internal, because it's going to be, they're going to, if it is all internal, it's going to fall into the same pitfalls that we had with Invasion of the Champions, where we thought it was going to be they are coming in to invade the game and play against these rookies, and it ended up just them being playing against themselves, which was not fun to watch. It's not why all of us tuned in. So yeah, hopefully that's not what this is.
Yep. Well, there's this the challenge that we're here. Boom, the challenge. There's 8 eliminations this episode, and so that means the bottom man and the bottom woman of each era, after they compete with this, they are going immediately into an elimination. They are battling against a man or woman of their same era. So we are going to have 16 people out of the 40 into an elimination after this. 8 of them are going to go home right away. Wolfie already went over a little bit. You're doing a puzzle. You're battling a boat. You're getting lights. You're putting them in the thing. First man, first woman win. I don't know, Carlin, they've seen it. I don't know. How much in depth do I need to get?
You never get in depth enough. Maybe
Yeah,
I
see, I thought it was a big, interesting challenge. That's what you guys were all telling me I was wrong about.
Hey, they've watched it though. You know, they don't need to go over the rules.
Not everybody has watched it though. I mean, hopefully everybody has,
Sure.
because this is so far it's a good season.
Yeah.
I loved that CT called the boats miso soup bowls.
Yes. I was going to say, I do know that I've heard on other podcast people being like, oh, I don't actually watch the television show. I just tune in to listen to the podcast to tell me everything. So,
I still feel like if they've ever seen the show, they know what I just described. It's a puzzle. It's a rowing, and then it's a thing. They got to get the thing.
Yeah, but the puzzle was fucking hysterical though, because Tony could not figure it out.
Oh my god! It was just that top one was just like it was just rotated wrong. I can see it from here.
So, for anyone who didn't see it already, or for some reason hasn't watched it, they're building the number 40, and this is when we get the first CT pro tips from CT, where you have to look at all of the different pieces and see if there's anything special on them. And he notices that there are characters written on the pieces, so you can match the characters up or match the shapes up, and it's easier to put your whole thing together. Well, Tony very obviously does not see this and tries to put together this big 3D number 40. And he has the top of the 4 flipped around. At one point in time, he finally gets that flipped back around, and he can't get everything to stand up properly because it doesn't look like it locks into place the way that it should. And it's 40. It's so 40. It can't be any more 40.
He's struggle busting on this one.
Tony's he's just so dumb. He's so dumb.
And I think I've discovered a little bit of a scandal here that I haven't seen anybody else talk about this online. But Mark in this episode says he's 52. But somebody on the MTV Challenge subreddit recently caught the man on Bumble and screenshot his profile where he says he is 49. He says on this profile, 49. Carlin, how do you feel about men who lie to get past a filter? In this case, I think it's age 50. Mark, it's my theory.
I mean, there are worse things to lie about, like telling someone that you're 6 feet tall and not actually being 6 feet tall.
How many, like, what's it acceptable if you're 5'11"? Can you round?
No.
Even 5'11".
Tell your actual height.
All right. Age too,
Yeah.
but age, you have a little more flexibility.
I have a little more flexibility with age.
All right.
I mean, we've all lied about our age, right?
No.
Well,
why are you lying about your age, Zach?
So
are you trying to get around filters?
No, not filters, but like 2 or 3 years ago, I went to a wrestling show down in Champaign, Illinois, and I was waiting outside to meet the wrestlers. And I met a cute girl, and we started talking, and hitting it off. And she mentioned she's like 28. I think I was like 37 at the time, but I was like, yeah, I'm 32. Because I wanted, I didn't want to be that old guy.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's still trying to get around the filters and going that far different.
Wait, how long? How many? Was that 5 years different?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So 5 years. 5 years is too long. 3 years is okay.
Two or three. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. But
so you'd forgive
more,
Mark.
I feel like is that, and
right.
I don't know.
I think it's shitty, Mark. Yeah. I think it's shitty. Leave some for the rest of us, Mark.
Shitty.
Leave some for us actual guys in our 40s.
I mean, I do say this and then think about it a little bit more, and I mean that is starting off whatever he's starting off with a lie, so not great.
Yeah. To be fair, this girl I met,
this makes me think that I need to up my age range when we're in Chicago to 50 something to see if we can find Mark on Bumble or Hinge while we're there.
Oh, for sure, we definitely should.
I support you in that effort.
I'm gonna do that right now, so don't forget.
We get Rachel.
I'm tasking all of you guys to remind me while we're there.
Deal.
All right. You'll have to screenshot it and show it to Mark.
Children
Mark,
doing?
Do you hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. 1 second.
Go beat your children. Lord.
You see Tim yelling and screaming at his children.
Did my face turn red?
What were they doing?
I don't even know, but like I'm annoyed because as we started this podcast, I went over it for minutes. I said, "Here's the expectations tonight, guys. At 8:30, we're doing this." I set alarms on the Alexa to whatever. They're not listening to my plan that I laid out for them. Anyway, we get Rachel. Hey guys, I've been loving Rachel back on these shows. I didn't know how much I loved her, but now that she's been back in a couple seasons, I love her so much.
Same.
Yeah.
She talks about her biggest win.
I love her too. I'm a little worried that she might start like slipping into the Derek Kaczynski try hard bit. Just ever so slightly worried.
Yeah.
Because I see a little bit of it, like a tinge of it coming.
I see a little. She performs a little bit. Yeah, she performs a little bit.
Yeah.
But she talked about
I'm really happy to see her.
Yes, and she talks about her best win ever, which was the Duel 2, she was the first winner. She beat like Landon and Brad and Mark.
She beat all the boys.
She beat all the boys, and of course, it showed her butt in those shorts that she was wearing that final. Best butt of the show, best body of the whole show. This
Rachel has such an amazing body. She has always had an amazing. All of these women. Who are we kidding? All of these women have amazing bodies.
Yeah, but Rachel is like a whole. She's like in a top tier, like all by herself. Rachel's hot. Yeah, she's hot.
Rachel is hot.
Cara talks about the Laurel rivalry. Do we need more Cara and Laurel rivalry after All Stars 4?
Oh God, no! I'm so fucking over their shit. Cara talks about it. Laurel also mentions that they're on a team, they're still rivals, so we'll just deal with it. She says that Cara is her little sister and that she's tired of being her. I'm like, I don't think that Cara actually looks up to you. I think that's an analogy that we all keep making, but I don't feel like Cara actually looks up to her or wants to like be like her. Like, Laurel, you were gone for years and Cara dominated this game. And again, last season she only barely won. Like
Mhm.
I really hope that Kara kicks her out. I hope that Laurel leaves before Kara this season. I really, really hope that she leaves before Kara because so tired of her holier than thou attitude.
Especially if Kara is the one to send her home in elimination.
God, I would fucking love that. It'd be so great. I really dislike Laurel.
I do
Really
too.
dislike her.
The more I see of Laurel, the less I like her. So now that she's played
Yeah.
her second season in a row, it's like, I'm done with Laurel. And I'm usually so excited to see her back, but she's one that needs to take seasons off between.
She's so good at a lot of this game, but she's just such a fucking asshole.
Yeah. She has no
Always.
she has no personal growth like inside her. Like I
Mhm.
don't think she has the ability to do that.
No. I did. Tim, you're probably going to hate me a lot for this.
Oh,
I
great.
actually really liked Polly this episode.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. All right.
I really loved
Wolfie, kick her out.
I really love how he
Mute her.
stuck up for Kara in this episode. The things that he had to say about Kara, I really, really loved.
It's a good thing they're broken up now.
Yeah.
Well, Anissa says that she's known for being an elimination queen. She's done 26 eliminations at this point, but she wants her 14th win this season to beat Kara's win. I guess they're tied for wins. I don't know. I don't care about this. It's weird because she says she wants this, and then later she gets mad for having to go in an elimination. It's like, you're dumb,
but
Anissa.
I mean, that's how they all are.
Yeah, but Anissa's just the worst. Casey talks about Nani, don't care. Leroy talks about his kids again. I love Leroy and I love his kids. I've had enough of that with All Stars 4, so therefore don't care about this right now.
Also, I didn't realize that he left only 2 weeks after the baby was born, and he didn't bring any photos.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird too after All Stars 4.
Yeah. I understand him thinking like it'll weaken him a little bit, but I found it a little strange.
Yeah, I did too. It goes over Amanda and Tori. They like stop fighting. I don't remember why they fought. I don't really care. I don't care that they made up.
I don't care either.
Anybody else care about this?
I think we talked about this last week, but basically Amanda and Fessy were dating. Fessy went on vacation with Tori and they slept together.
And what does that have to do with Amanda?
Because he was dating Amanda and then he went and slept with Tori.
While he was still dating Amanda.
Oh. Yeah, all right, I guess I remember that.
Right?
He's not a giant piece of shit.
No, not at all.
I guess I still don't care about this rivalry.
I don't care about this rivalry at all. I enjoy how messy Amanda is, but that's about it.
A rivalry I do very much care about, though, is Corey and the puzzles. Although that seems to be put to bed. Corey is fucking dominating puzzles. How about this guy? Yeah. Do you guys think is he going to keep up? Is he going to keep doing well at puzzles this season?
No. I think this was luck. I think this was first game of the season, beginner's luck. I don't know how he happened to be the first one to do this.
He says he's been working at puzzles. You don't believe him? We always say you should work on your weaknesses in the off season. Maybe Corey did that.
I want to see how he does when a math puzzle comes up.
Yeah, I don't think Corey's ever been going to be great at puzzles, but I wonder if he could be like how Leroy is with swimming, like just sort of serviceable. You know what I mean? Like,
I also feel like this was not that difficult of a puzzle. It was 3D. It was like you were very tactile with it. Like it was pieces that you could put into different shapes or put into one shape. That was.
You think it was that difficult? Maybe you should ask Tony about that.
Tony is Tony.
Yeah,
he's in
people
his own
really
special
struggle with
little
this
league. There were a lot of people who had a lot of trouble with it. I didn't feel like this puzzle looked that difficult. I think if we put Corey in front of one of the things where you have to like connect the two dots with a line that goes through the big giant box and it can't cross itself, or a Sudoku, or anything that happens to be math related, or where they have to count triangles in a giant triangle, like things like that, I don't think that he's going to excel in.
No, I don't think so either.
I think this just happened to be luck, and he just happened to get those pieces in the right places to begin with.
I'll give him slightly more credit, but not much. More rivalries I don't care about. Horacio, Kyland, Olivia, Nerys. I remember they had some issue last in the battle of the champion, new champion, whatever. I don't care about this either.
I
Anybody
care
care
about
about
this
this?
one more than I do the Tori and Amanda one, just because it's so new and it was fun watching Olivia completely stab Nerys in the face, and then also and then later on in this episode when Michelle gets really upset about all of this, it's like, oh no, but you're doing the same shit that you did to everybody else last season. This is how you ended up in this position. So I don't know. I like this rivalry a little bit more. I don't care that Horacio or Kyland are in it. It's the two ladies
It's
that
the two women.
I care about more. But
well, believe it or not, guys, we're still in the challenge. Nobody's even finished this challenge yet. This is all the talking Wolfie talked about.
Yep.
So people are finally finishing this challenge. Laurel finishes it first out of anybody. Kara is right behind her though, so second out of every single person. Kara is the second place finisher here. Tori and Jordan talk. I'm also over Tori and Jordan. I feel like we've seen their story. I don't know. Do we care that they're friends now?
No, I didn't realize that they have become such good friends, or seemingly good friends again. I mean, good for them on being able to overcome their broken engagement, but I don't really care.
Avery and Adam, they're official, guys.
Really don't care about that.
Not me either. Wolfie does, though. Wolfie's very invested in that relationship.
I mean, I'm just still low-key jealous of Adam, so.
Don't be jealous of him. That guy's terrible. And Avery, enjoying him means that Avery is also terrible. Sorry, Avery.
How far do we think Avery's going to go in this game?
About
We
as
think
far
she's
as
gonna
she
make
did
it through
on
next
All-Stars.
episode.
I think she'll, make it slightly past halfway.
Yeah, I think she's a pawn. I don't think she has any real power or control. If she makes it, it's because people are letting her, you know?
Yeah.
I think she's one of those. Devin's boat fucking sinks or some shit like that. Yeah, and so he just swims it. Who knew Devin was like capable of this? What do you guys think of Devin's swim here?
Well, we knew that Devin was good at swimming. Like, he's always been decent at swimming.
Yeah, I think it's more just like
but-
the gumption behind just like, oh, my boat sunk. I'm just gonna fucking do this anyway. I don't know if I thought he would just be the type that's like, oh, my boat sunk. I guess I'm just gonna be done.
I think in the last few seasons, like when he came back, that Invasion of the Champions, whatever it was before that he and Tori won. When he came back that season, like he seemed to really come back ready and willing to like do the thing to win.
Yeah.
And his attitude seems to have changed a bit there, and I think this was just a follow-up to that.
Yeah, this is his first season since his win, so yeah, maybe he is trying to prove it.
Yeah,
and it was Ride or Dies was the one he won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Tori.
The chat room is talking about Fessy changing his name back to Fessel. Yet no one gives a shit.
I
We're still gonna
forgot
call him
about that.
Fessy. I honestly completely forgot about it too until I saw it in the chat room. So Stephanie, thank you for pointing that out, but truly don't care.
Katie is the same old Katie who I love. Terrible at this. She's trying. I really think Katie tries her best. She is just one of these people who's just bad at everything
so
athletic.
Bad.
And
she's bad at the puzzles too. She's bad at all of it. She is bad
Yes.
at this game. The only thing that she's decent at was politicking back in the day, but she can't politic. I mean, she might actually be able to politic in this game because there are so many old people. But the last game that she was on, like if it's a bunch of new people, she can't politic worth shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did love early in the episode when I think SCT was like, yeah, we got a bunch of beasts on our team. And then we got Katie who's just here having a good time. And then it's like cuts to her being like, this is going to be a fun trip.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, we have a bunch of people who don't want to be here for vacation or who are here for vacation. Katie.
And Wolfie, I know this is probably like you don't care about this. I love seeing Katie like this. I love seeing Katie. This is like it was 20 years ago on the show. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
She's crying to Tina, saying she's spinning in circles like a dipshit. She's like sort of embarrassed about her performance. Loved everything about this. Just loved it all.
It was fantastic.
Polly and Kara, they're gross. I don't give a shit about them. disgusting, especially now that they're broken up.
Yeah, I don't care that they were cheering each other on. I appreciated his confessionals where he was really sticking up for Kara. I appreciated those, but I don't really care about them in the game.
I couldn't listen to him because he was wearing that stupid shirt with the fucking shoulder ripped. I was like, what? I can't pay attention to what you're saying when you're dressed
He
like
has,
that.
I mean, he seems to really be embracing his bi-ness, which good for him.
Ugh, he's just intolerable, that guy.
What was
all
that? Oh,
Was
there's
that
a
me?
cat in front of Wolfie's. No, I think the cat made a noise. And
There's a cat rubbing on the microphone.
Oh, I think I heard a purr too.
I don't care.
can't-
I'm not stopping him.
I can't remember what point in the episode this happened at, but just with Carlin bringing up Polly's bi-ness, did anyone else feel like that scene of him and Theo where he kisses Theo has like a completely different?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had the same thought, dude. Same thought.
Yeah, it felt significantly creepier.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
we know that Polly has come out and all of that. Like, it was funny and ridiculous when it first happened, but looking at it now, like he gives him a peck, he tries to lick him, like it's just kind of like these feel like unwanted advances, dude.
Yeah.
It was gross.
Yeah, it felt a lot off.
Another player playing for the kids, Brandon. Love seeing Brandon back too.
I love Brandon.
Yeah, but it
I
looks
do
like
too.
Brandon has fallen into the same pitfall that he fell into years ago.
That
He's just gonna
motherfucker
be the
cannot catch a break,
scapegoat.
dude. He can't catch a break. Why does everybody hate him so much? Is it just because they know that he'll forgive them or something? Why is he always?
No.
He's always the elimination guy. I don't get it.
I think it's a combination of that, and I don't know how much he like hangs out or talks to the cast when he's not on the show.
Yeah, so he just doesn't quite fit in with them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that might be it. It just, yeah, that kid cannot catch a break.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, we know the winners anyway. The challenge is actually over now.
Jesus
The winners,
Christ.
I know it was a long one.
Yeah.
The winners were by era: CT and Rachel, Laurel and Bananas, Corey and Tori, Michelle and Horacio. The losers were Mark and Katie, Ryan and Kellyanne, Leroy and Naya, Theo and Nerys.
I was kind of surprised that Mark was in last place. I was very surprised that Corey was in first. I was very surprised that Jordan didn't do better.
Yeah.
I was
I'm not
surprised
surprised.
Nerys came in last.
That one surprised me. Leroy last didn't, and Ryan last didn't.
No.
Katie didn't surprise me.
Katie
Like,
didn't at all.
There were some that were like, oh, of course. Theo being last. Theo really surprised me.
Michelle
Kellyanne,
winning.
I mean,
Michelle winning is it was a
Sorry.
little bit of a surprise.
yeah, Kellyanne being last, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. Like, she is on such a stacked women's team that it was, to me, it was a toss-up between her or Aviv, and Aviv only because we haven't seen her in years. So
Devin, though, says that he doesn't care that Leroy was last place because Leroy plays a shady game. I'm not sure if we've ever heard anybody say this about Leroy. Why did Devin say this?
no, I feel like the closest to a shady game that he has ever played has been within the last 2 or 3 years. Maybe it was just the last season that he was on, because he's always seemed to play it pretty up front, and it's very obvious that he's always been on Banana's team.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him ever playing a shady game.
I think
Zach,
I think Cam plays kind of a shady game. I think ever since he got together with Cam, it's kind of guilt by association.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I can
He's
see
just
that
getting
too.
lumped in with her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I can
makes
see
sense.
that.
We get just a very brief scene of Ryan talking about Laurel, saying that she's like the poison of the team. He doesn't trust her. Derek is sort of caught in between
I
this.
agree.
I think this is leftover stuff from All Stars 4, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And I don't really care about any of this.
Derek did clarify that she and Nicole dated for a while after All Stars 4, or after whatever the last season was. Was it All Stars 4? Yeah.
Yes.
That they dated for a while. So it's I really dislike both of them.
Yeah.
I really dislike Laurel.
Speaking of Laurel, yeah, she knows that she has to sort of pick, and I forget, she has reasons, but she's basically picking between Kara and Aviv. One of those two is going
She
into
says-
elimination.
She says that she doesn't want to pick Emily because Emily is jacked.
Right. So, yeah, so
Emily
she
is
wants
no
her to
more
stay on the
jacked.
team.
In all reality, if you look at Emily next to Kara, they like honestly, Kara looks more jacked than Emily does.
Mm-hmm.
And Kara's
Well-
been playing this game for long. She knows how this game is played. It's been gone for 10 years. I love her and I'm super excited to see her there. But I felt like Laurel saying this was a fucking cop out. It was her trying to cover her ass, and it's just
Yeah.
her trying to say something other than I just don't want Kara here.
That's exactly the problem I had with it. That she phrased it as sort of like, I've got to pick between Kara and Aviv, and it's a really tough one. I don't know who I'm going to pick. It's like, what do you mean it's a tough one? Like somebody I haven't
Like,
played
we
the game with.
already
And,
know that you're gonna pick Kara. Like,
yeah, it's like you know Kara, like you've been friends with her and you've played this game with her a million times. And Aviv, you've never played the game with her,
yeah,
and not certainly not for 18 years. Like, what? Why is this a decision? And it's because she
Yeah.
hates Kara. That's the only reason that
Mhm.
this is a choice.
like if she picks Aviv, I will be absolutely floored.
Yeah, no, I don't think
should
there's
pick
any
Aviv
chance.
because
Yeah.
no, there's not. Like she should pick Aviv because if this were any other team, if this were any other circumstance, then Aviv would be the one going in. But because it's Kara and Laurel, Laurel's going to pick Kara. And honestly, part of me feels like Laurel always has this issue with Kara because Laurel's fucking scared of her. Like she knows that Kara is beloved and she knows that Kara can do all of these different things and she doesn't want someone there who can do all the same things that she can.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's a bat in the house, guys. Do we care?
nope.
No. I like the bat scene. I thought that was kind of charming.
Yeah, it's fun.
Eh.
Wolfie, you hate spiders, right?
Yep.
Do you care about bats? Are bats creepy to you?
Nope. I had a bat in my house. I just held up a cage and it flew right in, and I took it outside and let it go.
No, and no problem. You didn't like care about that?
Nope.
Either you got Carl and Zach. Do you guys care about bats?
No.
You're not freaked
I think
out by
bats
them
are
or
cool.
anything?
No,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're pretty cool. I've seen someone I've gone down like cave tours, and they're always pretty fun.
Yeah, we had when I was a kid, we've had bats that have roosted in the eaves of the front porch and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're neat.
Yeah, they are the animal that freaks me out. I don't care about spiders or
Really?
snakes or whatever. Those don't scare me, and bats don't scare me. I just think they're disgusting. I just think they're the grossest. They look gross. They feel gross. They make gross noises. I don't want to even look at them. They're so gross.
That's the weirdest description ever.
Bats are
Mhm.
gross, man. They're so gross.
I would completely
I-
disagree.
Yeah,
They eat lots of
I
insects.
don't find them-
It's good.
they do. They eat lots of insects.
So do
I actually
spiders.
have bat guano. I have bat guano fertilizer in my house for the.
Yeah, I'm
guano
sure that
hospitals.
I'm sure they're good for the world. They're gross animals, though. They're gross creatures.
Yeah.
I kind of like this is sort of like they're talking like pre-politicking before the whatever they call it when they talk at that big table thing.
Mhm.
And I kind of like Bananas, like obviously like gives no shits about his team. Like he doesn't give a shit. Somebody's talking to him about who's going into elimination. He's like, I don't care. Like it's not, who cares? Because I think he's just closer to Era 1, so he doesn't,
Yeah.
as long as he's in if Era 1, he doesn't care about his own team.
Well, and I think he also knows that all 5 women on his team are super fucking strong, or at least Aviv seems super strong.
Yeah.
All the shots that we got of her, she looks jacked, just like all the rest of them do.
Mhm.
I mean, in all reality, the women on that team are stacked. I think he doesn't really care about the guys because he's gonna be losing, hopefully, a not great guy anyway. So.
Yep. So, Carlin, you mentioned on All Stars 4, Adam sometimes had these weird confessionals where he just seemed so sad and like overwhelmed at
Yeah.
life.
Why?
Did you get that same impression from Kellyanne during this part where she's talking about her animal sanctuary and stuff?
Not entirely. I got the impression that she and the boyfriend that she was with last season are no longer together, and that maybe that's why she was feeling sad and
Oh,
upset.
she seemed super sad to me in that confessional.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely had an air about her, but it wasn't quite like the It wasn't like Adam last season. Adam last
No.
season seemed like there were some serious things happening in his life that he didn't know how to deal with.
All right, we get CT and Darrell. They're laying in bed chatting. I like this. I don't know. I don't have anything interesting to say. It's just kind of fun watching them just like be dudes, like chill and be
The
guys.
old dudes, no less.
Yeah, that's the room I would have been in. Like, oh, you guys aren't doing anything? Yeah, let me hang out with you guys. I don't want to be out there with them outside, like being active.
Well,
and doing
is this
shit.
also when Tina starts talking about Era 1?
Yep. Yeah, my note here says that Tina looks hot. Man, does she? She's way more attractive now than she was back
Tina
in the
looks
back in the day.
great.
Yeah. Super
Tina
hot.
looks like she's trimmed up quite a bit, and yeah, Tina looks great this episode.
Yep.
This season. I loved her comments about Era 1. We're in bed by 9:30. We want a good night's sleep.
Yeah. And it is true because once it showed everybody kind of partying outside doing their politics, there were no Era 1 people out there.
They were all asleep with the eye masks on.
Yep. But this is where we see Tony trying to convince Corey to throw in Jordan instead of him, which is a smart move from Tony. It's the only move he's got.
It is the only move he's got, but he just, I don't know, hearing him try to politic, he didn't sound convincing. He sounded, I don't know, he sounded dumb.
But that's all he could say. What else? What would be your pick? If you're Tony, Carlin, what do you say?
No, 100%. That's the only argument that there is. Like, do you want to bring someone who is 100% going to beat you in this final, or do you want to bring someone who you can beat? And I completely agree with that argument. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because Tony just always sounds dumb. It just sounded dumb.
Yeah, well, I agree. It's not the typical Tony approach to the game. But I kind of like it. I kind of like that he's trying. He sees that this is a problem and he's trying to like get ahead of it a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna work, but he's trying.
I at one point in time, Corey says something about how I have my biggest rival on my team or something to that effect, talking about Tony. It's like, is he actually a rival, or are you just saying that because you threw him down in a season many seasons ago? Like,
I have a feeling they're cool outside of the show. I can't prove it. I have a feeling they're fine.
Cool inside the show. Like,
yeah, but they have to play up a rivalry of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to manufacture drama when there isn't any.
Well, Bananas had the line of the day. I thought he called the romance between Nerys and Horacio, quote, junior high school vomit fest, which I think is a pretty accurate summary of this fucking thing. Is there anyone in the universe that gives a shit about Horacio and Nerys?
No.
About as much as I gave a shit about old Johnny trying to hook up with every new girl that comes on the show.
Some of that I liked.
No.
Yeah, I do. I did find it kind of funny when Johnny was saying this, because all that I could think of in the back of my head was like, oh, so people should come on here single so they can hook up with everybody else. They're not cheating on someone back home.
You're not.
Is that where we're going?
Don't make Zachy get on a defending Bananas kick, please.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
Josh has some stupid reason as to why Theo should pick Polly. I don't even remember what the reason was, but this is just Josh trying to.
It was because apparently everybody on their team's gonna team up against them. But it was odd.
It's just Josh trying to avoid elimination, but like nobody's coming for you, Josh. It's the same conversation that we always have. Like,
I think
you're not in danger. You're fine.
A few years ago, Josh and Polly were like besties, and then they were on Polly's last season of the challenge, and they became rivals because I can't remember why, but I think that Josh is still holding on to that, and it's still like, we need to get him out because I have beef with him, and Theo has beef with him, and we should just get him out.
Yeah.
So.
Theo talks about the conflict between him and Paulie. And I really like the way Theo talks about this. It reminds me of the way Tim Walz talks about Donald Trump, which is just sort of like dismissing it. Just the way that Theo talks about it, it's not a real rivalry. He's just sort of is like, yeah, they tried to kiss me. It was a real fucking weird moment. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of funny the way he talked about it. Leroy talks to Laurel and Casey about parenting. Yeah, all this stuff. Blah 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 blah.
Well, really quickly, I saw that just a second ago, Wolfie. Hey, Stove, you have people who are already missing you. It sounds like you did a really great job in last week's episode.
You're well loved.
I'm willing to make a deal, Stove.
Yeah, well, that deal includes you have to win this season's public league.
Yeah, Wolfie, you're contractually obligated. Sorry.
Yep.
So this is the conversation with CT and Derek. They're sitting on that big stump that looks like trees.
Yeah, that was a weird
stump
seating
that
area.
look like trees.
It was a trees stump that I don't know. What do you call that
Stumps
fucking
are
thing?
trees.
Stump. It was like a stump that
Yeah,
looked
but
like
it
a
was like-
seat. Stump.
Yeah,
I think
it was,
that's what I was trying to say.
carved into a bunch of weird seats that were all at different levels. It was a little strange.
Yeah, it was
I don't
kind of
know if they
cool.
were footholds or seats or what.
And I think that out of the whole episode, this is probably my favorite scene because these seemed just like real people having a real conversation between CT and Derek.
Yeah.
Because they're just talking about their old friendships and sort of like, how am I supposed to decide between like Mark and Darrell? Like these guys I've known for 20 years. And you can tell that they're actually struggling with this decision in ways that they don't normally on these challenges, because there's normally a very clear person they care about more and less. But in this case, CT is just like, hey, I love Darrell. I've known him for a million years. I don't think Darrell's going to be as helpful, but I don't want to throw him in. And so he and Derek are sort of ping-ponging ideas on how to handle this situation. And Derek says in one of his confessionals that Darrell did him a, quote, non-game favor. We don't know what that is, but apparently Darrell showed up in a way that was very meaningful to Derek, and Derek wants to pay him back for that, whatever that was. What do you guys think? Is this like a mature way to handle this? Are we going to see this in other eras? Like what's going on with this conversation?
I enjoyed watching them talk this whole thing through, but to fast forward real quick to the actual deliberation and all that sort of thing, there were potentially 3 different people who could have gone in, who could be picked to go into this elimination. Darrell is just one of them. Like CT and Rachel could pick, and since CT and Rachel decided that they would be the opposite sex would be picking for that, when Derek kind of throws himself in for Darrell, I didn't really understand why he did that, because Rachel could still pick Brad. Like it felt very weird to me.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if part of it was. I think that part of it was showy, but I think part of it too was just sort of like the team camaraderie. They didn't want to tear the team apart, and certainly didn't want to break friendships. And so it was sort of. I wonder if that was sort of the bigger way to do it. Like, this is not worth losing friendships. It's not worth this. Like, it's a game. I'll just volunteer for the game.
Yeah, I guess
just
it's true,
a
but
theory.
I don't know. Derek knows better. He knows better than to throw himself in. They all know better than to throw themselves in. Like, you're competing for $1 million and to stay on this game. Why are you throwing yourself in on the first episode?
Yep. Well, that does bring us to nominations. So here we are in nominations.
Nominations.
Don't say my name, bitch.
Sure.
There's a big glass hourglass. They stole this from Survivor. Carlin, you're unfamiliar with an hourglass, but
Right.
it's a Survivor thing.
Yeah,
Not really.
Was not aware.
But they have to like deliberate while this hourglass drips away, and then by the end they have to pick a thing or whatever. So as a reminder, the winners are picking the second person to go in. But even the losers are there. So even the losers can sort of state who they want to go against. The idea is this is sort of a no holds barred conversation. Nowhere to hide. You got to say it in front of everybody. Any big surprises?
This could get real spicy later on in the season.
Me
I think
too.
having winners, losers, and the other potential nominees in here could get real spicy, and I'm excited.
Yep, I am too. I think it's great. So yeah, this is where Derek says he's stepping in. Darrell says okay. CT says okay.
We get
CT
another
pro tip.
Yep.
Yep. If people are volunteering, you
Never
let
throw
them.
yourself in.
That's right. Let them volunteer. Era 2, this is where Ryan says that he wants to go against Brandon. We touched on this earlier. But poor Brandon caught totally off guard. He's just like, wait, what? I didn't see this coming. It's like, how did you not see it coming? Everybody always wants to throw you in, Brandon. Like, you should go into every single one of these, assuming you're going to go in.
Yeah, like Ryan has relationships with the other people.
Yeah.
And like it made sense why Ryan chose him.
Yeah, I don't blame Ryan, but I do feel bad for Brandon. And, Brandon's got a good attitude. He always does. But I just want this guy to get a break. I just want somebody to be nice to him for a week and like let him have a week off,
Yeah, he always has a good attitude until he's thrown in 4 times in a row, and then he has a shitty attitude.
Yeah.
Completely understandably so. But
yep. In Tony's deliberation, he tries again to just throw out Jordan's name. Again, Jordan takes this in stride too. He's fine with that.
Super cool, calm, and collected. Like, I will get you to a final. I don't know why you're thinking that you should throw me in right now, because I will get you there.
Yep. But it cuts to John A, who says, like, listen, it's Tori, and she's deciding between like Devin, Jordan, and Tony. Like, it's Tony. Like, there's no way it's not Tony.
No.
Like
best friend and ex-fiance who is a good friend. Like,
yeah, it's Tony.
No chance.
It's got to be Tony.
Chance.
He's going down swinging, but he's it's got to be him. And then the fourth era, Nerys basically says she wants Olivia, which I think everybody can kind of understand why.
Yeah, but Michelle then throws out her whole argument, which I kind of touched on earlier. Her whole argument was, what Horacio is to you, Olivia is to me. Like, she's my number one. She's the one I love most in the house, which I found was odd wording. But then, like, who was it? Kylan throws out, like, okay, but you're the reason why they're in this position and why Nerys wants Olivia. You are the one who put them here. You're the one who caused all of this last season. And then I really loved that Michelle was self-aware enough in her confessional to say that she has fucked up so many, like, positions of power in the past. She needs to not do it this time. And then she starts crying.
Yeah. I'm not sure Michelle's going to be great at this game. I thought she would, because she's really good on Survivor. She's a really good social player. She's missing some component of this game. I don't know what it is, but she's just missing it. She's not doing well. She misses
it every season.
Yeah.
Misses it every season.
Yep.
There's something that's not quite there every single season.
Yep. It's not clicking. I don't know why not. Because, yeah, she did very well both her Survivor seasons.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Era 1 having the guys choose the girls and the girls choose the guys?
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. It's a cop-out, right? It's a total cop-out. It is a total fucking cop-out. Anissa's right. This is the way that they throw Anissa in, with Rachel avoiding that blood on her hands, and they don't need to make a decision on the men anyway. So I this is just Rachel leaving this conversation cleanly.
Yeah.
Anissa's right. I have no problem with it. That's the game. That's what it is. But that is what this is.
Yeah, I agree.
And anybody disagree with that?
No, I think I would disagree if before Derek volunteered himself, CT and Rachel had said, "Hey, this is how we're going to handle things."
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't say anything about that until after the men's was already decided.
Yeah. I do think that's what I think them, whoever is the power players on that, got together and said, "Hey, listen, it should probably be Derek and Anissa. How do we do this with hurting the fewest amount of feelings?" And this is the lesson. This is where they landed. Derek threw himself in, and CT throws in Anissa, and that's it. So I think that's how that's going to shake out. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Anissa truly does go in, and if Anissa comes back, what she has to say about it. Let's see if there's any backlash to it. It may be a completely moot point, but
yeah. Only 2 more things that happen in these like little deliberations before we get to the Pauly and Theo thing. One is that Avery, her big argument is basically just like, "Hey, let me prove I can do this," which
I don't know any of you. This is the first time I've met you all. Like,
yeah, does not work. That's not how you do this. It's not how you do this, Avery.
Nope. Not a good argument.
No. And Amanda throws out Nelly T to Corey, kind of hoping that the Nelly T connection will save her. Corey's not having that.
I appreciated that Corey was like, "You got to give me something more." Like, us both being friends with a person is not enough. Like, you have caused so much drama over the last however many years of being on this show with me, with my friends, with other people. Like, you got to give me something more than just we both have a mutual friend that we love.
Yeah. So that didn't work. And now, finally, guys, we're on to Polly and Theo. This whole thing. I kind of like this deliberation. Polly looks at Theo and just tries to put on this badass front of like, if you're calling me into the sand, let's go into the sand. We'll do this like men. And it's fucking pathetic and it falls flat and he does not look cool. But Theo looks super cool and he's just like, yeah, that's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna take you out and we're gonna go do that. And like, I don't know, it just did not work out for Polly.
No, it didn't.
Polly's got his intense, he's got like his Batman voice talking and he just looks real stupid.
Yes. We see Polly from a few seasons ago is officially back. This is where my appreciation for him disappeared.
Well,
I never had any.
I enjoyed Polly in this moment. Just because I feel like it'd be a lot of people in that case would try to weasel out and try to stay out of elimination. And he's basically like, hey, I heard you saying my name. Cool, let's do this.
But that's not how he posed it. I don't know. And he seemed just very inauthentic. Like the way he said it and like the fake gruffness to his voice. Like there was just nothing sort of real about it. And I just didn't take it seriously at all.
I think it might just be because Polly just doesn't seem like he's ever real. He always feels like he's putting an air on. Yeah,
always. It's probably my least favorite part of him. He's not a real human.
No,
he just does things. I don't know. Not into that. But yeah, Theo is the one here that really ends up looking like a badass. He's real calm and collected. And he's just like, hey, if I have to take you out, then I have to. Like, we'll just go do this. And I don't know. This is something about throwing a mission on War of the Worlds 2. I don't remember this. I don't care. This seems weird to be holding a grudge for this long.
They had to like pick up things and run up a very steep hill, and the other team was at the top, like letting quote unquote boulders, balls, that sort of thing, and they had water jets that they could spray at them, and Laurel and Johnny kept walking directly in front of Kara and going as slowly as possible. And every time Kara would try to move to the side, Laurel would sidestep. And it was super obvious that they were throwing the challenge.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But so Polly's holding that grudge on Kara's behalf all these years later. All right, well, that's the episode, guys. We'll figure out who's going into elimination and who's going home next episode, I guess.
Next episode, 8 eliminations. I'm looking forward to that.
How the fuck did we spend almost an hour talking about this episode? Because nothing fucking happened in this episode.
What are you talking about? An hour's worth of stuff happened in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just
10
think,
minutes worth of stuff happened.
Well, if you just think how excited you are to get to watch an elimination next week, and then watch it again, and then a third time, and then 5 more times in a row, see the same thing happen.
And then we get to come and talk about it.
Oh yeah. So do we think that
will happen?
Do we think it's going to be the same elimination 8 times in a row, or do we think they're going to do different ones?
I would hope that they would change it up, because I'd hope the producers would be smart enough to know what terrible television that would be.
True.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope it's a long endurance thing. I hope they all have to do a long ass endurance thing. I don't care if it's the same thing. I just want them to be destroyed.
I don't want it to be the same thing, because I do think that it would get really boring over and over and over again. But I'm a little worried that it's going to be, because I don't know. I mean, unless they have multiple things set up in different areas, I don't know how they're going to completely flip the set every single time they need to go to a new thing. Or unless it's like, pole wrestle and then balls in, and then I don't know, a few different things that would use kind of the same area. Maybe they could do that.
I'd love to see them show up to the arena and be something like where they have 4 cards face down, and each era gets to flip a card, and whatever eliminations on that's what that era does.
Ooh, that would be fun.
So each era gets its own elimination.
Oh, so both men and women from the. All right.
Yeah, because if you remember, some of the old seasons, the host would just have like cards in their hand. They're like ask like pick a card, whatever eliminations on there. That's what
Yeah,
you're
we have
playing
seen
to
that
do.
a few times.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, so then maybe they could have multiple eliminations set up. I just hope that it's not the same one. And I hope that if anything is physical, that we actually get real physical eliminations. I hope it's none of this bullshit physical stuff that we've seen the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hope that those aren't gone forever.
Yeah.
But I kind of
in
worry.
some of the previews, it has kind of looked like we have gotten it looks like there was a hall brawl at one point in time.
Okay. I hope so.
I'm hoping that we get some real eliminations this season because the bullshit physical stuff from last season was not fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's going to be a hall brawl, but it's one of those where they have to start at the end of the wall, not like by their bell.
So they can't get the full running start.
Lame.
Yeah. We'll see. Next week will be interesting. Do we think we're going to get anything other than 8 eliminations next episode?
No, I think that's what's going to be.
Same.
Which I think is fine. 2 episodes, we're getting rid of 8 players, and like that's fine. That's adequate.
I am so ecstatic that they're they're doing a purge immediately. I think it's fucking fantastic.
Oh, I hate it.
Really?
I'm of 2 minds because I like all these players and I want to see more of literally all of them except for like an Avery or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
or Josh.
like a Josh. Yeah.
Well,
we haven't had like I want to see more Derek. We haven't had him on in like 10 seasons. But like we could lose him next week. We could lose Katie, who's been, so much fun to see like be horrible. And like we could easily be here in a week being like, wow, there's 8 people that we are really excited to watch this season. They're just gone by week 3.
That's my concern, Zach. I guess we'll see how next week's work shakes out, but that's exactly that's my concern too.
I'd still rather the purge. I love that there's a purge because we have said so many times in the last, however many seasons of this game, like just fucking get rid of a bunch of people. Like this is insane. We can't keep carrying all of these people. We've got more people than we do episodes, and
yeah,
just all of that sort of thing. I completely agree that it could potentially be a massive bummer to lose some of these people that we absolutely love to watch. Yeah, but I would rather lose them than carry 40 people for 10 episodes.
I also texted you guys about earlier though. The one thing I'm excited about is to see if we can set a new record for how quickly we wipe out Tim's fantasy team.
Yeah, Tim, how many of these people are on your fantasy team?
Oh my god, I haven't even gone. I haven't even looked.
I haven't looked either.
It's probably scary to me if I look.
I can tell you the bottom 3 because I did the score. Carlin has 2 people in elimination. Wolfie and Tim have 3. I have 0.
Okay.
How do you have 0?
Because all of my people didn't finish last.
Cheater.
Yep.
Cheater. Well, that's the episode, guys. The end.
Hey, everybody, head over to challengepod.com. Join the Facebook group. You can also join Patreon. What do people get when they join the Patreon, Tim?
$5 a month, guys, gets you access to pre-shows, after shows, years of content, going back years and years. You hear all about Carlin's dating life. That's the big draw.
You hear all about Tim's dating life.
That too. Dating life, horror movies, and Zach's eating habits. Those are the things that we tend to talk about on the after shows. They're fascinating, and you should all want to listen to them. Also, we say your name. So thank you to Alvin, Elena, Anna, Caroline, Christopher, Cindy, Eduardo, Greg, Gretchen, Jamie, Julie, Laura, Martez, Maverick, Patty, Roldan, Ryan, Samuel, Sarah, Scott, Seth, Shax, Shakar, Smilin' Jack, Stan, and Steven.
Woohoo! Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Woo.
We also got a big comment on the Facebook, which we usually don't read, but it was very much a feedback comment. So Adric says, so glad you guys are back, but I have to admit I signed up years ago because you used to cover the old seasons I even put up with the wives because it was great to hear people validate my feelings on how cruel Bananas was on the island. Just an example. I know it would be a lot of work, but is there any chance of you guys doing some more flashback seasons again, please? They were awesome. Give me even more motivation to watch and hear what happened to the challengers afterward, too. Glad you're back, guys. Keep up the amazing work. Love from your number one Aussie fan.
Oh,
Well, thanks.
how do they know they're our number one though? Have they polled every person in Australia?
I mean, maybe.
That might not be. That might not be true.
They could
I
do.
love doing the. I actually really like doing the flashback seasons. But we don't get a break. There are no challenge breaks
I
anymore.
haven't gotten to do a flashback season with you guys.
Yeah.
I've only gotten to listen to it.
They're just amazing.
I was thinking about that earlier, and I know we all enjoy our long breaks off. So I was like, I wonder if we could do it in a way where we get like Carlin to come visit us, and then we just like spend one weekend binging and mass recording, and then like slowly release it over weeks.
I thought you were going to say masturbating. To be honest.
Yeah,
That's a requirement.
I'm not coming out for mass recording, potentially.
We used to do that. That's how we used to do the flashbacks. You and Amanda would come over. We would do 4 to 6 episodes in a row. We would just like sit at the table and just knock them out.
Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
could be. I could be down for something like that. But yeah, we'd have to plan out a weekend for me to come down there or something of that sort and be ready to binge and then record all of them one at a time, right
I feel
after
like
each other.
I feel like we have to watch them before.
Yes,
record all of
they
them.
would absolutely have. We would all have to do that as homework. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
being that we've all got jobs, Tim's got kids, we've all got lives. We're also trying to do this podcast and watch the show this season. There's no way that I can add another
Yeah.
hour plus of this podcast on just to recap an old season. As much fun as an old season could be.
Yeah. No, I agree. And if we ever have a break, I would love to do it, but it's without a break, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it. It's hard to think about it.
Hey, Zach, do we have any social media stuff?
We do not, because my web browser does not want to load anything, so I can't look anything up.
Okay.
I did see some social media commentary on the challenge. Some of the challengers are complaining that the order that they showed the contestants finishing was not accurate. Now, the first and last was always accurate, but apparently there were like people in the middle kind of got reshuffled, and some of the cast is complaining that like that
Does it
the ranks are
matter?
not totally accurate. No, not really. I mean, really only the first and the last matter. But somebody, I can't remember who, but I think maybe Josh was one of them that said like, hey, it said I finished third, but I finished second, or whatever. There's a couple people.
Then I
that
really don't care if it's Josh.
I think Josh is one of them. There was a few though that said that was not, that the finishings weren't accurate.
Oh, we've lost Zach.
We lost Zach.
Yeah, I don't care if the middle people got shuffled around. That doesn't matter to me.
I kind of feel that if it doesn't affect the game, I don't really care. But they should have the times, and I want to see the times. And I don't know why they don't give us the times anymore.
Yeah, it would be nice to see the times. But we've also complained about that for years, and I don't think that's ever coming back. Well, Zach isn't here. We do have the fantasy teams. We want to go over that real quick.
Oh, yep.
Go for it.
All right. Well, since Zach isn't here, we're going to go with the host league that's on the app. According to the app, and this, I didn't actually go through and change the points. I probably could still. But it has Wolfie in first place.
Wolfie, you son of a bitch.
Wolfie's in first place
Last.
with 239. I'm in second place with 224. Zach is in third place with 207. And Big Uncle Sweet Tea is in fourth place with 201. So there's not a huge spread between the four of us.
I
When
can make
Zach gets back and reads his scoring, it'll be first.
Oh yeah,
It'll
guaranteed.
be last.
I know that Zach really loves his scoring. I just really like being able to see it all in my hand with all the rest of them. And I like having all of the other things scored. But not just the action of the challenge itself, because episodes like this one, the challenge is a big part of it, but then we also have, conversations between people. We've had episodes where it's very drama heavy, and I feel like that needs to be counted in. But
Yeah. You have stronger feelings.
Whatever.
I don't have strong feelings about it. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Really, I think it's just because I want to be able to see it whenever I go in and look.
I see the benefit of that for sure. That is, I did not know how much I would enjoy this goddamn fantasy league. I check it, and if it's not
All the
updated, like
time.
when the episode comes up, it's like I gotta fucking every half hour I gotta check it now.
Yep.
Even
and
though I'm
then
losing, and it's I fucking feel pathetic.
for the questions last week.
Oh, I didn't even answer the questions last week. I didn't even know what you meant. I had to like dig into the thing to figure out how to answer them now. Now I know how to do it.
One of the questions was who went home.
Yep. So
Fucking
it was
no one.
The questions are always who will have the first confessional of the episode and
Uh-oh.
who will be eliminated that week. And the elimination this week didn't actually matter because they weren't here, but it didn't happen. But the first confessional of the week was Derek.
Yeah.
So,
Are you guys able to see and hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, hear you.
Okay, you guys were like, Zach's not here, and I'm sitting here like, I'm here. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
Nope,
Oh, we
disappeared.
lost you for a good couple minutes.
You jumped out.
Not so here. I heard and saw everything you're saying. I saw Carlin critiquing my amazing scoring.
I don't like your scoring.
It's all right.
On to unless Zach, do you have your scoring of the private league or of the host league?
Not right in front of me, but I remember. Yes, right now after 1 week, I was in first with 20 points. Carlin was in second with 18, and Tim and Wolf are tied for third with 17.
So, I mean, it kind of represents the league, you know, the website one, right?
No,
Like the
website
ranks that,
one
like,
website has Wolfie first.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, website
Playoff.
has Wolfie first, me second, Zach third, you fourth.
Okay. So Zach's scoring is more weighted on the challenge performance, instead not less like the drama and the other.
Zach's scoring
the outside
only
stuff.
is challenge performance. It doesn't take into account any of the other things.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, public league, the one that everybody actually cares about. Our previous season winner is whatever stove is all the way down at, where did I see him? 23rd of 37.
Suck it. Oh wait, I'm even worse than him. So never mind. I take it back.
Sorry, Stove. We just had to call you out. So everybody still has a chance to kick his ass this season and get the guest spot for next season. So first place right now is No Quitters, which is Jeannie. I think that's Jeannie.
Yeah, No Quitters is the other podcast. That's the worst podcast than us.
Yeah, the No Quitters is the podcast that quit like 6 seasons ago.
Yeah. And they came back and quit again. They quit twice.
Second place is I Touched Johnny's Banana. And third place is Death, Taxes, and Bananas. And their point values are 145, 143, and 137. So real close to each other. And the next 10 teams are pretty close to that. So it's only the first episode. We still have quite a bit of ways to go. Of the hosts, I'm in 7th. Wolfie's in 13th. Let's see.
32nd, baby. 32nd.
Yeah, Big Uncle Sweet Tea is in 32nd, and Zachy Bananas is in 33rd.
Oh, Zach, I'm kicking your ass, dude.
The comeback is coming.
Yeah. So we have some fun things. Oh, and then we have the other challenge league, which is just the budget league. It's just for fun. You win a crisp virtual high five if you win this one. Everybody gets to pick. There's monetary values assigned to all of the players. The challenge pod team is in first place, which I think is Zach.
Yes, that's me.
Okay. So Zach is in first place, I'm in second, and T-Mobile Sidekicks is in third, which is Jacqueline E.
I'm in 8th out of 9 places on that one.
And Wolfie's not in this one.
No.
Unless whatever Stove forgot to put any picks in. You have 0 points on this one, dude.
These are still open, right? People can join them now. They'll be joining later.
They're still open. They'll be open for the whole season.
Right.
I mean, you could
everybody should join them. Everybody should join these leagues. It truly does enhance like the enjoyment of the game. I didn't think it would, but
it's
this is my second
fun.
time playing it. The virtual leagues, they are actually really fun. Yeah, they really are.
Yep. So go to what is it? realtvfantasy.com, and they are both of the challenged with a D.
Isn't it on our link tree? Can they go to Challenge Pod?
Yep, you can go to Challenge Pod and get it through there. I put 2 different links, one for each of the 2 public leagues. The budget league, you're not actually winning anything exciting. It's just for fun. The other one is the one that you win a guest spot on the pod.
To be fair, that's not anything very exciting either.
Hey,
Yes,
we are
Yes,
totally
it is.
exciting. Whatever Stove can tell you that we are totally exciting.
Yeah, we kept him up past his bedtime last week.
We did. He was drinking coffee all night with us.
For the Bad Influence podcast.
All right, are we done?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, head over to challengepod.com. Join the Facebook group, join the Patreon. For this
Join the fantasy
episode,
leagues.
Join the fantasy league. Follow us on Instagram.
Woohoo.
And for this episode of Challenge, it's been Brian,
Big Uncle Sweetie.
Carlin San Diego.
Zachy
Zachy
Bananas. And I didn't care enough to get a quote, so we're done. And I should probably pull up the actual outro, huh? Play it,
That would be helpful.
maybe.
Oh, I got a quote. TJ's first quote to his throwback was I'm a professional BMX dirt jumper.
The challenge.